All right, we're going to move on now to subtracting decimals. And so I like to begin that kind of a lesson with real world problem. What if Maria had $50 and she spends $8.36 at Culver's? $8.36. That must have been at least like a chicken strip basket, right? How much does Maria have now? And so we have to be really careful because when we think of these two numbers and we're going to try to subtract them, 50 doesn't have a decimal on it, and we learned with adding that you have to include a decimal. So we need to make this $50 with 0 cents, so that I have a decimal and can line it up with my $8.36. $50 is what I began with, and I'm going to take away the money I spent, $8.36, in order to figure out how much I have now. So subtractions where we have to do a little bit more work in that 0 take away 6, I don't have anything to take away from. So if there's nothing here, I have to work my way over and borrow next door, but there's nothing next door. And then there's still nothing next door. So I have to go all the way out to my tens digit and grab $10. So I'm bringing it down to 40. So I'm going to put the $10 in the dollar spot, but I need that to come all the way over to my hundredths. So I'm going to take away $1 and make this $9. And I'm going to have 10 cents there, but I need to move it over one more, so I'm going to change that to a 9, and now my 10 is all the way over. Whew, a lot of steps. So 10 take away 6, I can solve now. I'll have 4 left over. 9 take away 3, I'll have 6 left over. Drop my decimal. 9 take away 8, I'll have 1 left over. 4, and there's nothing below it, so it's still 4. So Miss Maria can buy a lot more chicken strip baskets because she has $41.64 left. All right. I have some more practice problems here. This one is very similar to what we just did. It's a different amount that we're subtracting, but you'll notice that all of these are whole number beginnings with no decimals. So your first step should be making this 50, 0, 0, and you're subtracting 23, 45, lining up decimals, and I'm going to have to do a lot of borrowing again. I am going to solve out these problems, but I would like you to try them as well. So this would be a great opportunity to pause, play, and see how I solved the first one. And if you didn't do it right and you want to fix your answer for the next one, you can pause again. But you'll have to be in control of that. I'll try to cue you when I'm going to move on to the next one so that you can pause and try the next one, pause, try the next one. So I've already set up my work for the first one here. Feel free to pause and you try it. But now I'm going to set up my borrowing. So I have to go all the way over to the 5, grab a 5, put it here, or grab a 1, and throw it here. But I got to borrow, throw it here, borrow, and now I have it in place where I need it. 10 take away 5 is 5. 9 take away 4 is 5. Drop my decimal. 9 take away 3 is 6. 4 take away 2 is 2. Answer to that first problem. I'm going to work out the next one, so if you wanted to pause and try it yourself, that would be the best way to go about this. 30 doesn't have a decimal. I'm going to add a decimal to it to make it 30.00 minus 7.98. I have to go all the way over and borrow. Now I can work out this problem. So 10 take away 8 is 2. 9 take away 9, nothing left there. 9 take away 7 is 2. 2 take away nothing is 2. Drop my decimal. 2202. All right, last one. Again, feel free to pause so that you can try it on your own before you see the solution. 100 doesn't have a decimal. I'm going to add one. This first one, 0 take away 0, I can do. I don't have to borrow yet, but now I do. So I have to go work my way over till I have a value to borrow from, and I'm going to take that 1 away and make it 10 in my tens digit. Borrow from there, 10 in my ones digit, borrow from there, and make that one. Now I can work it out. 10 take away 9, 1. 9 take away 4, 5. 9 take away 5 is 4, and that 1 went away when I borrowed. Drop my decimal. There we go. All right. I do have a couple more practice problems. They're not, remember we were working with whole numbers that we were taking away from, so we had a lot of borrowing practice. These three are in your workbooks, and I would like you to then solve them in your workbook like we did with the adding decimals. So it's on page 179. Look for letters D, E, and F off to the side. You should work these out in your workbook, write your answers in them. So this is where you should pause to solve them. I will get the answers on my screen, and then you can check yours with them. All right, so I didn't talk through those, but hopefully you can see my work. Feel free to always pause this to compare your work to my work, see maybe where there might have been a mistake. Continue to practice with it. I will be attaching what problems in the textbook I'm assigning to go along with the decimal subtraction. But please feel free to restart the video, revisit it if you get to a problem and you need to remember how I went about that, how I set up my problems. Don't forget to add a decimal if there isn't one. You're not changing a number by putting it after it with zeros. You could put as many zeros as you needed. You're not changing the value if you're just adding zeros behind it. So make sure you always line up your decimals. Notice that all my problems, I have them lined up, lined up, lined up. So those are big things to think about when you're dealing with either adding or subtracting decimals. Get a decimal on there, line the decimals up.